Either gorgeous sunny day, the doors of MAUD are open. What does that mean to see that swinging back into action?
It's a pretty good feeling. It's taken a long time and a lot of work by a lot of people, but it's really paid off. It's proved to be a really good attraction. Had loads of people around.
What sort of state was the aircraft in when you first took control?
It was, I suppose derelict wouldn't be too hard a word. It had been extensively stripped for spare parts. It was painted in a merry shade of matte grey. Loads of bits missing from it, and it really looked down at heel. In fact, the next step was literally the scrap man. So
it was heading off to Foxhill, wasn't it, to be broken up?
Absolutely, yeah, that's right. And it was acquired by the trust for a measly, I don't know if it was $1 or 1 Swedish krona, whatever it wasn't a lot of money anyway, and supplied to the trust on condition that it never was put back into the air, which the chances of that were fairly slim, I think. So yeah, and then there was a long period whilst it was being repainted in the hangar, and we are extremely grateful to the guys at West Atlantic who operated the hangar for giving the space and time and lots of facilities in there. It was repainted in its original, well, Manx Airline's original colour scheme, obviously not the original colour scheme for this aircraft because it never actually served with Manx. But after that it was towed down here by the people at the airport, for which thanks very much, and I set to refurbishing the interior.
Which is looking incredible. I mean, you've even got authentic style coffee machines that the crew would have used to prepare drinks and meals and things.
Yeah, that's right. We've been so lucky, really. Everything we needed has been given to us by the people in the hangar, or the people who own another ATP, which is due to be broken up, and they said, whatever you need from the passenger cabin, you can have, because we simply don't need it. So it was a case of unbolt it from one aeroplane and bolt it back into this one before you forget where you got it from.
Paul, we're sitting on the flight deck of MAUD here. What memories does this bring back for you?
Oh, many. It was the first aircraft that I got a command on, so that always holds a special place in any pilot's heart, really. So yeah, looking back at it now, obviously it looks quite antiquated to what we're used to today with further generation EFIS aircraft, that's electronic flight information systems. This was actually one of the first generation to adopt the screen format, as opposed to the old style format from previous aircraft. So as you can see, there's still lots of dials and gauges showing things like propeller speed and engine torque, etc. But the introduction of these screens into the aircraft was quite an advancement, and came in round about the time, obviously, with the introduction of the ATP into service.
You fly now for Logan Air. How does this aircraft compare to what you're flying these days?
Certainly a lot more difficult to handle. It could be an absolute brute when it wanted to be. It was very much a case of you flew it, otherwise it flew you. So on a gusty, stormy December night coming back in here to Ronaldsway, when the wind was gusting across the runway, it could be quite a handful. So you really had to get hold of the thing and really had to fly it.
You look back now, people look back with massive fondness for the airline. People talk about the chocolates and the breakfast on board and these other bits and pieces.
I did all I could to make it a really efficient airline, and people remember me for hot breakfast and afternoon tea.
And three-legged chocolates.
Oh yeah,
Don't forget the three-legged chocolates.
One, yeah.
Fabulous. For you, looking back now, what does it mean to have been involved in something that was so big for the island?
It was terrific, actually, because we had nothing to do with government. I mean, we got on well with the government. We didn't have any financial assistance or anything else. But it was quite difficult for them, because suddenly they had the two big airlines of British Midland and Air UK operating the vast majority of the services to the island. And suddenly we came along saying, well, look, they'll go and we'll do everything. So there's some suspicion amongst some of the politicians, of course, because they could have been left with egg on their face if this hadn't worked. But no, it worked well. So we started on 1st November 1982 with 3 fairly elderly turboprop aircraft, and gradually built up. We just built up the service, and really by good service, on-time performance, and people started flocking to us, so it's great.
Somebody watching this at the moment, you get some idea it's a lovely sunny day, come on down, it's fantastic, but I think the real experience comes when you get on and you can smell the aeroplane, you can touch it, you can feel it. It's a real hands-on experience.
It is, yeah, that's right. I mean, most people these days do fly away, but this is a generation back, and there is quite a noticeable difference. And remarkably, it does smell like an aeroplane, not like an aeroplane that's been sat around for 10 or 15 years mouldering. It is quite atmospheric in there.
As a proud Manxman, what did it mean to you to fly for Manx Airlines?
Oh, I was very proud. I mean, Manx Airlines, I always wanted to be a pilot as a young boy, and when Manx Airlines came along, I was actually on one of the first Manx Airlines flights in November 1982, on the 5th of November, I'll never forget it. I'd been away on a trip to America with the Scout Pack, 2nd Douglas Scouts, and when we flew away in October, we were on a British Midland Airways Viscount down to Heathrow, and when we came back, the aircraft changed livery. It was Manx Airlines, so that was the first thing we all knew about Manx Airlines. Obviously, you know, as a young boy, didn't pay too much attention to the news. All of a sudden, there was these, you know, nice stewardesses in green uniforms, looking immaculate, handing out 3 legs of man chocolate and all that, and it was really good. So I'll never forget that, and I could never have envisaged as a young boy that evening that I would actually be the pilot in command of the last Manx Airlines flight back in 2002 on this very type of aircraft.
Just one last one as a pilot. Any temptation to fire her up and take her flying again?
It'd be lovely, but unfortunately these switches and levers are not connected to anything nowadays.
So Terry, the aircraft has the registration MAUD. What's the story behind that?
Well, there's it's just a thing a small airline can do. We were still very young in terms of personnel and operations, but Maud Powell was our cashier, and she was the first person who came to retirement age and suggested she retired. But she looked after expenses. She was a very popular lady, and so we just thought we'd remember it by putting her on the registration. She didn't know until we had painted it, and we got photographs of her looking up at the tail with an absolute mouth open. But she was a lovely lady, and that's all it was.
So tell me, Ivor, when is the door going to be open? When can people come and look around Maud properly?
Well, Maud will be open every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock. So, yeah, we'll be to welcome lots of people on board.
And I know the answer to this because I've visited a number of times, but what's the admission charge for the museum?
It's free for everybody.
How cool is that? I mean, you can't get better than that. Obviously, donations always
we do
welcome
donations. We do rely on donations to keep the museum.
And presumably volunteers as well.
Yeah,
if somebody's
all
interested,
volunteers.
got a passion for this, what would you
We
say?
do need volunteers, please come along. Yeah, we always need new people, and you don't need a particular amount of knowledge, just enthusiasm and willing to listen to your visitors and pass questions on to somebody who knows. You know, it's fun.
So the start of a brand new season, the sun's shining, we've lined that up for you as well, so looking forward to this, I guess.
Absolutely, so far this year we've had record numbers, so hopefully that'll continue for another year.